What's up? What's up? What's going on, guys? I know it's been a while. It's early morning. A lot of people are sleeping right now, but hey, this is the perfect time to broadcast these kind of topics. So, welcome to those of you who stop by, and for those of you who watch later. I appreciate it. Stay tuned. And if you are new to the channel, I really appreciate it whenever you get a chance to like and subscribe. You know, hit that bell so whenever I go live, you get the notification. And shout out to DJ Kuda, speedy recovery. I'm taking over. I'm taking over the third shift while you are resting. But anywho, I'm on the road right now. I'm sure you can hear the background noise, the trucking life, and all that stuff. So yeah. But anywho, the topic I have is truth is hatred. You know, we're living at a time where telling what is wrong. You gotta tell a little lie. You gotta twist your words and stuff. Telling people the truth is doesn't sound good right now. So, and the main reason why I chose to speak on this, I've been holding back. I've been listening to a certain individual. I've never heard of him. Like I could have, but because I wasn't ready to when it comes to basketball that much. I remember years ago, back in the '90s when I was young, I was, but as I got older, I wasn't really into basketball. I'm more of a soccer person, so. But as I grew older, I started to walk away from sports and getting too entertained. But there was an individuals here on this YouTube space named Kwame Brown. He's a retired basketball player from the NBA, and he's been making some very interesting videos that's shaking up people. His subscriber count has grown, you know, like amazingly. I watched him when he started trending, and within one day, he doubled. Well, also he had less than 40,000, and he added 50,000 subscribers within one day, and he's almost at 200,000. Real soon, and it just shows you that people are tired of the pandering. They're tired of just tick. Was it the tickling of the ear? They actually want something that's truth, something that's not mainstream, right? And I tried to catch up with some of his older videos and listening and see what he's saying, right? So he probably have a few roasting session where he's basically fighting back with words against those who are smearing or talking bad about him and stuff like that. But outside of all that roasting session, all the stuff, if you really pay attention, you pick up some of the things that he's saying that some of us are here have been saying, but people who look down or who say we're tinfoil hat, conspiracy theorists, and all that stuff. You don't know what you're talking about. Show me proof of what you're saying, the information you have, blah, 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 right? So let's see. Let me see if I can show you one, one thing let me see. Let me show you his picture so people who are trying to figure out who he is. If you can see on the screen, that's him right there back in the day when he was playing basketball. Kwame Brown. Uh, those of you who are Lakers fan, he played for the Lakers too. He played with Kobe, and he played with Michael Jordan also. With was it the Wizards? Yeah. But there is one video I just uploaded on my page. It's like one minute, a clip that I was listening to one of his older podcasts where he was talking about mentorship, right? Mentor. I was on Mr. Fantastic show I think a few days ago, probably 2 weeks ago, and we are talking about certain topics, and I brought up the word mentor, and I was trying to tell people that in our modern time, we were talking about how words lose meaning, right, based on current generation or whatever. How words change, how society or the people who control us, how they change, how words over time change meaning. Like we mentioned the word pride, not pride, the word gay, right? The actual dictionary, the word gay means happy, right? So how a few hundred years ago, if someone were to say I'm gay, will mean it doesn't mean what it is now, because people have changed the meaning. But the root of all the words have meaning, meaning you have to go back to the origin, right? So I try to explain to brothers. I say the word mentor, right? Today means like supervise or training somebody under you and whatever. But I told him, I say you have to look at the origin of the word. It's from the Grecian culture, and if you go back in that culture, where the word comes from, it's more than just training as you think. It was more. And if you listen to that clip I put of Kwame Brown talking about when he came to the word mentorship, right? Where he was basically saying that when it was a governmental mentorship and all those programs, it's whack, it's nonsense, it's crap. Like throw it out of the water, it doesn't work. It doesn't help the children, right? And if you listen to that one clip that I took from him, you will understand what it really means. And I try to have some naysayer come up and try to basically counter what I was saying, like like I didn't know what I was talking about. And see, this is what happens when information get retracted and smeared, because people rely so much on the internet, they don't understand the internet is controlled. Google, the things that Google had 5 years ago, they don't exist no more. Certain information, if you go right now, that I recall 5-7 years ago, that I found, if you go right now and you look for it, you won't find it. So what's happening is there is a virtual book burning, meaning if you don't have books that contain information that you research, that you can actually go back to and use as a reference and show people, because people like they don't believe until they see, right? If you don't have it, they'll be like, you're a liar, because I went on the internet and I can see it. I don't see what you're talking about. And that's what I say, truth is right, because people are like, well, you're just making things up because you don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, you don't know what time it is, huh? Do you really think Google is gonna put information that's gonna benefit you in the long run? No, they're gonna retract it. Censorship, what is censorship? Omitting, retracting, making things disappear. There is no ethics when it comes to the internet because it's control. And that word mentor, and I tried to tell it to people, I said mentor, it was more than just what you understand. It was everything from the abuse of the youth to beyond. Because in that culture, when the word mentorship was used, it's like, for example, I have a family and there's a blacksmith or a carpenter or a farmer or somebody, right? And I want my child to be under the training of that skilled person, right? So what will happen is it's like school, right? It's like, be like, okay, I want my child to serve under that person, whether it's a politician, a person of status, or somebody who has a means where, my child can get an education. And that person will, quote unquote, mentor my child. And that mentorship was everything. that whatever that person will like uh, under that mentorship, what we will see it in our, if we were to was it bring it to our modern time, many parents will not allow it. It will be 90% wrong. So again, I don't speak on things I just make up. I speak on things I've seen with my eyes in writings, I've heard, and I've double checked. But if you rely on the internet to have every information, you're mistaken, buddy. You know that, and that's what's happening. They're retracting every information. I recall one time I was doing research when it came to the name Elion or El, right, which is a deity from Canaan, right? Because for those of you who are religious, you hear a lot of people who are Christian, or you heard the word Eli, Eli, Laba Shabbatani, or Prophet Eli, right? The word Eli, it comes from the word El, and or Elia, which means my God in English. But the word, that name El, was the name of a pagan god, and that word is contained within the Bible when you look at the Hebrew translation. So I was doing research about that name, and come to find out, in Canaanite pantheon, El had a father. He was a god, a pagan god, and his father was called the god of darkness. Right? I was like, wait a minute, what? Right? Now, when I look at the research, that was a few years ago, right? And I saw on Wikipedia, because on Wikipedia, sometimes they'll give you a reference to go to books, right? Now, if you go to Wikipedia or online and you try to look at, okay, who's the father of Elion, you can't find it. No more. But if I tell somebody, and I'm like, you can look at it online, if he goes online, he's not going to find it. Because why? Because Google script removed that detail. And if you don't have the books that have all that information, you're going to look at me and be like, well, Google didn't tell me, so what are you talking about? You're just making things up. It's not there. Because everybody's relying on the internet to have proof. No, get books. Get books. That's why I have books. And you see, I tell people, I don't know everything. I tell you what I know. But people don't even realize they've been made so lazy. People don't read books. And I tell you, like, I hated reading books. Because I've come to understand that you only read what you're passionate about. If you want, like, I'll look at, let's say, on the daily world, right? You have women who want to learn about how can I get a man? How can I understand what men thinks? And you have men who want to understand what women think. Guess what? You know what they're gonna do? They'll buy books about what's their thinking, what they're passionate about. Oh, I want to learn how to make money. You know what I'll do? I'll spend money, buy books about how to make money. But it seems like knowledge on things that will actually open your eyes to the reality of this world, nobody wants to do nothing. Nobody wants to read. Nah, I don't want to. They minimize it. We live in a nation where everything is available. From everything. The good, the bad, the ugly. Everything. But it seems like nobody cares about owning books. Like, hey, I tell you, every time when I have to move out, I have to worry about the bookcase that what I tend to do is, if I find a rare book, I'll try to own 2 or 3 copies. And we're living in a time where those books, you can't find it no more. You can find it. So, again, I tell people, don't rely 100% on the internet to find evidence or information, because they're omitting it. It's control. Get books. Get books. And I know you may be at a time where you're like, oh man, I'm broke, I can afford it. Find sales and stuff like that. Because when I was buying these books, I was doing a lot of sacrifice. I'll say, of all the books I've owned, I can estimate if I were to sell it in value right now, based on the book burning that's happening, the omitting of information. If I were to sell it, many people will bet on the books and be like, man, I really need it. I really need the information. I could sell all my books right now, and I'll get probably close to $15,000 in cash dollars right now. If I were to be like, you know what, I don't care about books no more. Let me sell all my books. And because those books are in high demand, I could get $15,000 cash from all my books. Why? Because the information is being looked for. It's valuable. And because it's not available in the bookshelves no more, it's being burned, quote unquote. Now it's valuable because it's so rare. You can't find it no more. And what the brother was speaking on when he came in mentorship, I was like, you know what? The Most High works in mysterious way. Here you have somebody, who been through it, and he's telling you what is. But me, when I'll say it, because I'm fasting his life, they'll be like, oh, Mr. Tinfoil Eye, you don't know what you don't. Look, I went on Google and I looked at the definition. Here what it is. You don't know what you're talking about. Stop spreading false information. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. But let Kwame Brown tell you what mentor really means, what it is, and it doesn't work. Fathers should be the ones training their children, not strangers. And he spoke about, he said, why do people put trust in strangers? Did y'all teach us don't talk to strangers? Don't trust strangers? Don't take anything from strangers? How could you put your trust on strangers to take care of your children? Huh? To the point where they'll be like, oh, this teacher he's not giving my child a good education. Your children's teachers are strangers. And you expect them to train your child? And now you understand why we work like slaves. We work like like gerbils, so that parents won't have time for their children. Imagine you're a father and mother, both of you work, and you have toddlers, and you leave them with a babysitter, or you take them to the daycare, and as they get older, you send them to school, and you don't even realize that almost half of your children's lives are spent with strangers. And you wonder why, when your children get older, they don't have affection for you. Little things like that. If you're a parent listening to me, sit back and think. Ask your children, how many times do you spend with them? How many hours a day do you spend to bond with your children? Family time, right? And look at how many times they're spending going to school, spending time with strangers, spending time on the magic box called TV, spending time on the smartphone. And look how many times they're spending on was it oral tradition, for us Africans, they mock this. Oh, yeah, y'all didn't have writings, y'all had oral tradition, word of mouth. And I'm like, don't you think the best way someone to learn is through oral and actually being active, showing someone how to perform something? That's how they learn. It's not just sitting in a desk, reading and watching someone say, this is how you do it. No, practice, having your hands on something. That's how you learn. I'm an artist. You can learn how to draw without drawing. Yeah, someone can teach you drawing theory. Oh, okay, this is how you do it. You draw a circle, but guess what? You will never have to draw unless you draw. Practical. You have to be practical. You can't trust strangers to educate your children. And you wonder why, oh, my child, why doesn't listen to me? Why? You blame the child, but you don't look at yourself. And people who actually will tell you the truth, you don't want to listen to them. We shout out to brother Spiritual Hawk, Spiritual Logic, aka Hawk. Check out his channel and check out his community tabs. I told you, YouTube punished me for telling people that this whole pandemic was a hoax. People call me tinfoil hat. You have this Amalekite devil's child full of sheets, Fauci, right? I call him full of sheets, right? SHEETS, to be clean, full of sheets. Fauci coming out saying that maybe this whole bug wasn't natural, was manufactured. I'm like, yo, I got put on timeout for telling you this whole thing is a hoax. But now they're retracting. They're putting back everything they told you as fact, as scientific. Oh, science. Oh yeah, it's a fact. Fact. But now they're retracting. And the masses, because it's you're not gonna hear on TV. You have to read their articles. They're putting it on because they know you don't read. You don't care. You're busy working, slaving. Now they're retracting everything. Now they're saying, oh, what if, the juice, the jab has has metal that if you put a magnet where you got shot, the magnet is gonna stick to your skin. Oh, but when people were telling you, oh, you conspiracy theorists, oh, that's fake news. Oh, you talking out of your butt. Don't believe him. He don't know what you're talking about. He crazy. Yeah. Again, the truth is hatred. You'll be hated for telling people what is. That's the sad truth. And that's why I'm kind of glad that it's at nighttime, everybody's sleeping, so I can speak and uninterrupt it, because and I have to speak in codes just to show you. They tell you have freedom of speech, you're an American, but the internet in America is the most un-American thing ever. There's no free speech. You can say what you want to say, but guess what? Certain people can come out here and lie to you and say whatever they want, but they won't be punished. Why? Because they're paid. They're paid by those who control the internet, those who control our government. They're paid. But regular folks like us, if we speak, oh, tinfoil hat, don't listen to him. What are your credentials? Oh, government credentials. If you're not getting paid by the government, your words mean nothing. And those are the ones whom the majority will listen to. Again, they're retracting everything. Hold on. Maybe you gotta see to believe. Let me put this guy's face. Yeah, there he is. Right? The dumb sheep obey me. Wear that mask. Huh? Oh, Dr. Fauci. Hell, he's a doctor. He knows what he's talking about. Yeah. Fasting. You don't know. You're not a doctor. You don't have a PhD. Why should we listen to you? Oh, yeah, Dr. Fauci. With scientific evidence, this is what the bug is. Yeah, believe us. Don't listen to the naysayers. A year later, we're looking back and we need to retract everything. Maybe this whole thing was not natural. It was manufactured, quote unquote. We are experts. We're telling you what it is. Don't listen to us 1 year ago when we told you this was fact. No, I think with our new, quote unquote, new study, this whole thing that we've done was all crap. But no, the magic box won't tell you. You have to go to the articles online to read. But you don't read. What is reading? Oh, nah, I don't read. I'm a slave. I'm too busy making money. Yeah, yeah. But you call us tinfoil hat, crazy, lunatics. But you know what? You listen to them telling you it was all a hoax. Why? Because you're a dumb sheep. Yes. Some of you out there took the jab. Why? Because not because you chose to. No, you were told to do it because you're a dumb sheep. Yes. But hey, what do I know? I'm a nobody. I'm not a PhD. I don't know what I'm talking about. Hey, listen to the experts. They care for you. They're strangers, but you have to listen to them because they have the degree. Yes. Remember, mommy and daddy told you don't trust strangers? No. Don't listen to mommy and daddy. Mommy and daddy don't know what they're talking about. They don't have the credentials. Listen to the stranger. Why? Because he has a degree. He's qualified. He's paid by the government. So you have to listen to him. Do it. Do it now. Oh, man. Shout out to the brothers out there and sisters who are trying to warn the people and nobody listen to you. Sit back and watch what happens. I told y'all, that covering that they're putting you, wait and see how many people will start getting sick. Yeah. And a lot of people who are passing away, use your own judgment. Yeah. Uh-huh. Death is at the door. And a lot of people are opening the door to death to come in. Why? Because when they hear the voice, they say, I'm PhD. Trust me. Open the door. Let me in. And you open the door. And you get the juice shot in you. And don't be surprised if you get what you get. Don't be surprised when you see that light, that bright, bright light that everybody sees when they pass over. And you see your creator and you're wondering, wait, where am I? And he says, my son, why did you do this? And you look back, guess what? You're in a different dimension. Oh, yeah. You don't have to believe me. You know when you see it. You know. You know when you see that bright light when you cross over. Right? When you're in that bed and you close your eyes, some people see they close their eyes while their eyes is open, if you understand what I'm saying. And you see that bright light that we read about, that that the elders told us, but we don't believe because, maybe we think our elders, they didn't know what they were talking about. Yeah, but they all say there is a bright light when you cross over. When you pass over, there's this bright light that everybody see. There is no darkness, right? Because a lot of people think when you close your eyes, it's dark. No. When you close and your soul leaves out here, that soul sees a bright, bright light that no mankind has ever seen. And they know exactly who that light is. And that light will ask you, why did you do this? Why are you here early, my son, my daughter? Why? Now you have to explain yourself. But hey, we're here, we're alive. If you listen to me, that means you're alive. You haven't crossed over. So hey, I'm just here. I'm just the messenger. I don't know everything. Hey, your mommy and daddy told you not to trust strangers, right? But look at your life. How much do you trust strangers to run your life? Huh? The Bible says, children, obey your parents so you may have a long life. Your parents told you, don't trust strangers. When they tell you something, come back to us. It's a figure of speech. Because if you're an adult, you gotta. Now you become the parents. Now you become the father, mother. Don't just take what people are saying. Do your research. Find out. Can I trust these guys' words? Even me, I'm a stranger. You don't have to listen to me. But I'm telling you, I'm like, hey, don't listen to someone because he want to have credentials. Find out why is he telling you what he's telling you. You know, credentials mean nothing if what he's telling you means to your demise. Oh, maybe you mean his credential to your demise. He has credentials to your demise. Hey, maybe you can look at it that way. Let me come back to brother Kwame Brown. He spoke on a lot of things, and on one of his streams that I was watching, he started touching about the NCAA or the sports league, the college sports league. How he was saying that Stephen A. Smith was allegedly used to go to colleges and high schools, basically demonizing children. I mean, young people from ever hoping to get onto to the NBA and go into the college level sports, so that the college level sports can make money off of them, and they don't get paid because college sports makes a lot of money, and the players don't make money. They don't get paid. They be like, oh, we're gonna give you scholarship here, and they're like, we're gonna put chicken soup on your lips, but you're not gonna get the piece of the pie, buddy. You know. And when he started touching on this topic, guess what YouTube did? Click. Shut up, buddy. You talk too much. And it's not that he was saying anything new. It's just that because he's gaining steam and he is a known, like his name is known, and he's speaking truth, they cannot allow that to happen. They cannot. People were saying what he's saying before he was saying it. So I support him 100%. That at least, hey, better him than me, because why? Because at least he's part of the mainstream and he's saying the truth. But that doesn't mean I fully trust him 100%, because remember, control opposition, as above, so below, good cop, bad cop. So I don't know. He may speak some truth, but because of his record, he even say himself, he said that, hey, I'm not the exception to the rule. They had their hands in my pocket too. He said, I got paid to keep my mouth shut. So I understand why my other brothers out there can say what I'm saying right now, because they have their hands in their pocket. So at least in that part, he's honest. He's saying that, hey, when I was in the league, I had to shut up because they had their hands in my pocket. And each and every day, the evidence is right there. Those who lie have the larger audience. Those who tell the truth, they shut them down. And there's a lot of brothers out here, brothers and sisters. When I say brother, the word includes everybody, male and female. But because, I know we live in a society where if the word sounds masculine, they'll be like, well, what about the female? But when I say brothers, or I say guys, that includes male and female. There are people out here who are, in sprinkles. We're out there, speaking some truth, and hopefully the people who hear it go back and research and find out what is. But it seems like those out there, it's a pick and choose. Not we talk about free speech, but hey, censorship. Oh, you this group. Oh, we're gonna put you down. You can say what you must say. No. But him, we're gonna allow him, or her, we're gonna allow her. So it's not fair. But we understand. There, life is not fair. This world that we live in is not fair. He spoke on so many things. Like, if y'all get a chance, check him out. Check his channel. Just look up Kwame Brown and you'll see him, because he's trending right now. Speaking of which, anybody out there, shout out to the people who are checking me out. Peace, peace. Let's see. I don't know how many people are on, but you're welcome if you wanna come and chime in if you want to. I'm gonna drop the link, and you guys are welcome. Let's see. I got 5 people in the building. Thank you very much, man. Hey, five. Hey, take my words. Don't. I'm not an expert. Do your own research, but I appreciate you stopping by and take a listen. I'm taking over to third shift. DJ Kuda, he's recovering. Shout out to you. May the Most High give your body a speedy recovery, so you can get back and bless us with more knowledge and keep us entertained while we are here on the road. DJ Kuda, Play Talk Radio. Peace, bro. I'll probably message you later on to see what's up. But back on the topic, guys. Thank you again for stopping by. I really appreciate it. If you're new to the channel, please like, share, subscribe, and you guys are welcome to jump in if you want to put your 2 cents, and why not. But man, there's so many topics that he touched on that I could pick on. Okay, there was another one where he's talking about how what is the Breakfast Club, right? You have a man who was taken to court for certain things that he did, right? Breaking the law, like basically he broke the law, and Kwame Brown mentioned it, right? But he was using certain words, right? He was basically telling the truth, but because we live in a society of laws, right? The gentleman was a Charlemagne sent basically got his lawyers to send him a cease and desist letter, basically giving him a warning, be like, hey, you can be out there saying things that are not legally documented, right? So he was like, okay, I'll pull up my words. Now I'm gonna read the legal information that you want me to reference, right? He said, okay, I'm gonna stick with the legal term. So legally, it's showing that this guy, right, a public figure, right, according to the documents and the police report, he was involved with an underage girl, because the legal age in America is of consent is 18, right? Once a person is 18, he's an adult, right? So when it comes to sexual intercourse or whatever, you can meet if you're 18 or above, and it's both adult agree to it, then there's no problem. But someone who's underage, there is a problem, right? So in the legal documents, it mentions that this Charlemagne person did, like, I think it was he was in his 20s, and he was involved with an underage child, right? And he basically in the court paper saying that he pleaded on a lesser charge. Now I was like, yo, no, just think back, last year with the whole Me Too and all that stuff. Oh, allegations, right? Because allegations just, you can accuse somebody, but you have to prove it in court, right? But how the media portrays it is like, oh, just because you are alleged for doing something, you lose your position, things happen. So I'm like, the media is a liar. So don't believe what they're telling you. But that's how the media trains people's mind. But with Kwame, what just happened, it proves to you that it's not so. Because why? Because if Kwame was allegedly saying something, right? Why did a lawyer have to send him a cease and desist document paper? Because we look at the news, why many people lose their jobs or get fired or whatever because of allegations. But they're not even proven. And even if they're proven that they were innocent, their image from the media is tarnished, or what the media wants you to think, that the image is tarnished, right? For an example, Bill Cosby, Epstein, and whatever. But it's not what happens in real life. Now, from those documents, it shows us that they can pick and choose who they will demonize. Because if you're going to demonize for someone doing what that person did, according to the document papers, he'd be out of his job. Like, you're going to remove him quickly. And if possible, he may get jail time or something, right? But this person, he's being protected. So Kwame was like, wait a minute. If it was any black man doing what he did, he's like, we know the history of this nation. But he's like, some way, somehow, this guy still has his job. This guy can be on a panel with a female, and she doesn't even bat an eye knowing what this guy did back in the day. So he's like, who's really behind this guy protecting him? What club does he belong to? And for him bringing and stuff like that, he's getting silenced. You know? And again, you know, some people, you know, will come in, they'll be, oh man, you're speaking fact. But at the end of the day, their programming is so strong that people will fall back because why? Mankind loves comfortability. Being uncomfortable is you know, it's no, you know, mankind has been trained to be comfortable. It's like you can't be comfortable in an uncomfortable situation. Why? Because you have been trained to not be comfortable in it. You know, because people love things that make them feel at ease. But they don't understand sometimes things that make you feel at ease is detrimental to your own being. You know, sometimes food that are bitter is actually good for your health. Not everything that's always sweet is good for you. It's wild, guys. Like it's sometimes I look back, I'm like, should we just be quiet and not say anything? Because it's like the more we try to say it, the more we're silenced. But it seems like the evidence is people want to hear more. But when we try to give the people the things that we know that can help them, that are opposite to what they hear all the time, we get silenced. We get attacked, even from the same people who want us to tell them what you know, what we know. He touched on a lot of things, this brother right here, Kwame. But we'll see. We see what happens in the next few days. If he's gonna keep the momentum, if they're gonna silence him. And shout out to the people in the building. I really appreciate it, guys. I'm taking over the third shift. The brother Kuda is you know, he was in an accident and he's recovering right now. So speedy recovery to him. And I appreciate the brothers out there. You know, some people they speak on things that I may not agree 100%, but I support their right to express themselves because, especially men, we men in a real life, men don't like to talk a lot. We tend to keep to ourselves. We like our own solitude, and as men, we understand how we are in our own lives. So for us to be out here, especially online and speaking and congregating with brothers out here, it's something, especially being black men, regardless of where you're from. We know the history, especially for us who live in America. We know the history of black men not being allowed to come together, where there were laws, literally governmental laws that forbade black males, black men, to speak more than three. Come together, even if it's just chopping it up, like, hey, bro, how was work, man? Oh, it was hard. That was not allowed in this nation. Like, think about it. Think about the psychological impact that the law of your nation forbade you to come more than three to speak. That if you were seen, you could be put in jail. You were punished. It wasn't allowed. You had to do it in secret or in your house, in your own homes. You couldn't do it publicly. So to have the internet where it allows this, well, keyword allow, because sooner or later they will stop it. Because when brothers come together, even in our testosterone, we can come to an agreement to be like, okay, this is one thing we can all agree as men, that we all agree on, and they don't like that because the spirit of man is the spirit of the Most High. Masculinity is the spirit of the Creator. That's why the scripture refers to him as He, Father, right? He has, we are made in His image. We have some of His attributes, and because we are made after His image, this society and the people who control it, they hate Him, so they have to attack and try their best to stop His image on earth that reflects Him. So they have to attack masculinity. And women out there have to understand, if you respect the Most High, you have to understand when society attacks masculinity, they're attacking the Most High who you respect. Yeah, that's what's going on. And Kwame also touched on it, and some people maybe they'll be like, oh man, his subscriber count. I'm like, it's climbing a why because he's part of mainstream, but he's speaking truth to the point where YouTube, now that he passed over 100K, YouTube has no choice but to promote his channel because according to their own analytics, whenever you pass over that threshold, now they're promoting your videos. And because of what he's saying, they have no choice. Oh, sorry guys, I'm back. Uh, my was a stream. I got kicked out, so I'm back. Hopefully, you guys. I was blabbering and blabbering, not realizing that I wasn't on the internet no more. So this is what happened, guys. Hey. Hopefully, you guys can hear me. I see I still have 6 viewership. So, yeah, guys. I don't know how many minutes because I wasn't looking at my screen. I don't know how long I've been speaking that I was out, but I am back. Wow, wow. So I was like, as soon as I was away, why is my oh man, I got kicked out. So yeah, hey, it's a battle, man. This is what happens. I'm not surprised, but anywho, as I was saying, Brother Kwame touched on a lot of things that that his subscriber count is going up and up and up, and people are wondering, oh man, his subscriber count is going up, and YouTube has no choice but to promote his videos because according to YouTube's algorithm, whenever you pass over 100,000 subscribers, they have no choice but to promote your videos, to promote your content. So as he continues to speak like this, YouTube, don't be surprised if YouTube start to censor some of his content, because I noticed now that he passed over 100K, all of his videos started having commercials. But when he had like 40K, 50K, there was no commercials when I was watching his videos. Now that he passed over K, now he's having commercials. And his recent video, he had to change his language because he's like, you know what? If I want a lot of people to be reached out, I have to tone down my language, because what YouTube has done is on every videos that he used a lot of curse words, a lot of it, and especially within those videos where he was speaking a lot of truths regarding when it comes to sports, the NBA and the media, they put age restricted. So whenever your video is age restricted by YouTube, your video, you cannot make money. Like, for those who are making money off of your content, you cannot generate income from that video. So yes, that video will have commercials on there, why not? But you won't make any video money because YouTube has put an age restriction on it. So the only way for you to make quote unquote money off of YouTube is to have content that have clean language per se, and that's what happens. So looks like I still have 6 viewership. I appreciate you guys uh, listening. Press one if you guys can hear me, because I don't know when I got kicked out of my stream if I'm still being heard, because you know how YouTube tends to be. So hopefully thing that I wanted to touch on my last live stream, when Brother Hawk was with me, we're talking about the elites and the different bloodlines, the wheat and the tear. I'll probably have a special live stream with a better mic, because me driving on the road, it's kind of noisy, you know. So that maybe my audio is not as good for a podcast. But we were talking about uh, the wheat and tear. When you look at them, when you plant them, because the tear is like a weed, but it's a weed that looks like a wheat, right? When they're growing up together, you can't tell a difference. You only tell a difference between the wheat from the tear is when the harvest come, right? And the Bible, in the New Testament, for those of you who read the Bible, Christ talked about it. He gave a parable about a farmer that had a land, and then his neighbor who was evil sent people to plant the wheat, to tares on his farm. So his servants were, hey, boss, in the morning we realized we saw tear growing in your farm of wheat. He said, should we pluck them out? He's like, no. If you go out there and try to pluck the wheat, the tear, you may pluck the wheat also. You can tell the difference because they look alike. Be patient, wait until they mature. Then you'll be able to tell the difference, and you'll be able to pluck out the wheat from the tear and collect them together and burn them, right? Now, that parable has so many layers. And I know Brother Hogg, he touched on it a little bit, but I'm not going to go deep into it. But I'm going to try to go deep into it, but I'm going to use the word fiction, right? So when I'm going to talk about this subject, about the parable, I'm going to speak on it from a fictional point of view, right? I'm sure most of you have heard of the Greek legend, the mythology, right? Zeus, all of them, Apollo, Hercules, and all of them, right? It talks about gods and demigods, right? That the gods, they'll go and take men, like women, earthly women, have children with them, and their children will be born with powers, with superpowers, right? Because they're half god, half man, and they can do a lot of features and a lot of stuff, and you know now the Bible talks about there was once upon a time before the flood where the angels, right, whom society will call them gods or aliens, they came down on earth, a group of them, and they were like, we want to experience this life, right? And they began to mate and do things that were against the law of their species, right? Because they come from a different species, and their laws forbid them to mingle with our dimensional species, right? So these beings, they didn't just have children with man; they began to was it have relations with animals and fish and animals, and like things that were like against the laws of the creator. And the result of that union created what we call monsters, titans, beasts, like wild beasts, of heroes and legends, right? That's why I'm using the word fiction, right? But also the Bible talks about that bloodline of monsters like centaurs, fairies, hobbits, all the mythological they all died because they got exterminated with the flood, right? They got washed away. But because their soul was, I'll call it, their soul was GMO because it wasn't created. It's not from either beast or man. They became evil spirits. They became what we call demons. And because they lost their physical body, they had nothing to attach to. So after the flood, when Noah and his children began to multiply, right? They began to the earth, the mankind population began to grow. Those demons began to attack them. They began to use their body as host, and that was the first time anything such as disease or sicknesses came to be. So when you hear words like virus and all that stuff, those are literally demons, according to the Bible. They didn't exist before the flood. So what happened was the angels, the good angels, they came down and basically arrested all those demons, 90% of them, and they threw them into the abyss, into like a spiritual prison. And 10% of them stayed. But according to the Bible, it says in the future they will be released. They will be released. That's why you notice there's a lot of talk about mental health and things like that, right? So there's a lot of things that are going on that they're not talking. You're not being told. Now, the Bible talks about that amongst man, amongst us as people, there are people who look like us that are not people. Huh? Let me repeat again. There are some people amongst us as people, mankind, that are not people. Now, like I say, this is all fiction. Wink, wink. Fictional. If you see the movie They Live, you can get an idea of what I'm saying. Now, the Bible talks about blood. The Bible speaks a lot about bloodline. So and so had so and so. This father, from father to son, this person went and married these women from this place, and they had this kind of son, right? So a lot of people will read the Bible, they'll be like, "Oh man, what this genealogy? This begot this, begot that. Why does the Bible?" It's like you're gonna have a whole chapter or two just talking about this soul had this hoe had that, right? This father had this child. This child became an adult. He married this person and had this. So people wonder, why does the Bible focuses a lot about bloodline? For a reason. For a reason. Because you see, mankind, because of what the gods did, they taint some of the bloodline on this earth. So some people you see out there in society that you meet every day, you talk to, you shake hands, you cheer, you party with. Some of you, was it cuddle with, are not people. And you speaking like that, you're gonna be ostracized. You're gonna be silenced. So when the Bible talks about, don't remove the wheat and the tare. Why? Because you can tell who's who. Why? Because there's a something that's blinding us from seeing the reality. We have our eyes open, but we're literally blind. There's like a machine that's sending like radio frequency that basically omit us from seeing what's really going on. Like we are not seeing what we should be seeing, because if we were to see, mankind will revolt and we will realize who's not us, right? That's why I tell people that even racism is a tool to divide and conquer. Why? Because if anything, the true racism will be between those who are people and those who look like people. Huh? So I'm using words and what is it? codes because we on YouTube censorship my channel. they got their eyes on me, so I'm using words and codes that you can understand. That's why I'm referencing movies, because even in Hollywood, they tell you, even though not everything they tell you is true, what reality you live in, because they know you're dumb. You can't see it. You're gonna look at it as fiction. But if you watch the movie they live and you understand the underlying message, maybe that can give you a glimpse of what I'm saying right now. Like maybe the words I'm saying, the accent and everything may not make sense. But take time, look up John Carpenter's movie called They Live. And you see like the cover, somebody wearing glasses. There's a wrestler who was basically the main actor of that movie called Roddy Piper. He was a known wrestler from Canada. He passed away already. He was the main protagonist of the movie. That movie, if you watch it, man, it will tell you a lot. I'm just using, the scriptures to basically tell you what that movie was saying. That some people out here are not people. And 99% of the time, there are those who are ruling over us. And some of them, we don't see them. They don't even show, like, who you see that they give you in media and everything, it's not them. The real leaders are in the dark. You'll never see them, or you'll never even hear their name. So if they gave you their name, it's not them. They're just puppets. That's why they hide in the shadow. That's what the scripture says, that they shall be brought down, and we will look at them and says, is this the man? Right? Isaiah 14. No, was it? Isaiah 14, starting verse 12. It says, and we shall look upon him and say, is this the man that made the earth to tremble? Right? But is he a man? That is the question. But when we shall see him, he look like a man. But is he a man? So even the Bible uses a lot of allegories to tell you that some of the people that we think are people are not people. But you can't speak like this. Why? Because they'll use that's why I say racism. The word racism is a tool, because there is only one quote unquote race, which is mankind. Adam was the first man, and everybody who come under his, from his bosom are mankind, because he is one of the kinds that the Creator made, from animals, cattle, fish, birds. Mankind from Adam are it. But there was a mixture from something that was not mankind, that took a piece of mankind and mingle with it. But in the book of Daniel, it says that they will try to mingle with the seeds of man, but they cannot mingle. Like, even if it seems like they mingle, they cannot mingle. Why? Because it says clay cannot mingle with what? With metal, right? Regarding the statue of Nebuchadnezzar, the vision, it's like oil cannot mix with water. So the Bible is saying, it says, there is a bloodline on the earth that tries, or it will seem like they're mingling with mankind, but they cannot mingle. But how can you tell when they look like us? When they look like man or woman? And, those are, very, very dangerous topics that if you go out here and start speaking on it, you could get erased. But I just had to touch on it under the fictional context, to protect my quote unquote freedom of speech. Oh man. But that's the reality of this earth. And shout out to everybody in the building. I really appreciate you guys coming in. Hopefully, you guys can hear me because I don't know. I can test and see if my words are going through the airwaves because censorship is an all time high. But I really appreciate for those of you who can comment. Please press one if you can still hear me. I'll really appreciate it. And for those of you out there, if you are new to the channel, please like, share, and subscribe. I really appreciate it. I just had to get on, live and kind of like tell you guys what's going on. You know, so there's a lot of things that could be spoken of. You know, it's it's sad that all last year they had the whole earth in fear of a quote unquote invisible. You had atheists. Atheists fear the invisible. All this time mocking, oh, you believe in the Bible, you believe in a creator that you can't see, you know, but they trusted strength.
Pastor, what's good, man? Yo. Yo, Pastor, you hear me?
right, all right, all right. I'm back, Tyrone. I had to eject. I wasn't sure if my sound was going was going off or. But can you hear me now? Can you let me see? Check check. Yeah, I know sometimes if I'm driving where there's no Wi-Fi, maybe my voice can be disturbed. But I hope you can hear me because I'm still here. Um, I saw you comment earlier. You said where you go, but I'm still live. Still live. Let's see. Let me put the link again for those who want to jump in. Let's see. 1 second. Let me drop the link. So yeah. Hey, this is what we have to go through to at least speak something. So if you can hear me, please let me know in the chat that you can hear me. But yeah, getting back to what I was saying, like I said, shout out to brother Spiritual Logic. He's putting on his community tabs all the information that you can actually go and prove what he's posting and with screenshots that they're literally retracting everything they told everybody. And why they're retracting? Because they were able to convince the majority with their lies. So now that they capture your mind with their lies, and they convince you to do their bidding. Now there's no need to keep the lie going. Like they can just retract and be like, oh, I know we say a lot to you, but you got the juice. We shot you with the juice, so you're good to go now. Ta-ta, you know. And we tried to warn the people, but most people, we're not PhD, so they're not gonna listen to us anyway. But for those who heard and did their research, now they can actually be like, hey, you know what? I'm glad I listened to you guys because it seems like these guys in the media they're putting back everything they told us. They were trying to convince me last year was fact. And they use science. They use science to get you. All right, I see. I heard brother Philly. Let me bring him. How you doing, bro? Can you?
You can hear me faster?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
What's going on, man?
Hey, I'm doing good, bro. Yeah, I think you fell off earlier. So.
Yeah, I couldn't hear you at all. I'm like, what the hell? He just dropped off, or he cut off the show. What the hell?
Yeah, I think it was probably the Wi-Fi because I'm on the road. So sometimes if I pass through like some of the trees and all that, my connection cuts off. So I'm glad I'm able to have you on the panel, man. What's happening?
Yeah. What's going on now? I see you. I hear you talking about the vaccine and all that bullshit.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a pandemic, man. It's all playing the fuck out, man.
Yeah.
And I agree with you with all that. So like it's all about population control and all that shit, man. They just trying to control us, to tell us what exactly to do and all that shit. They I think they really gearing us up for something bigger than this bullshit. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Bro, I just want to let you know, I'm trying to keep a clean language because what they've been doing is
I'm sorry.
No, but I'm just letting you know the reason why is what they're doing is this is what YouTube has been doing now. If they notice or if the AI notice that you're using any like strong language without your permission, they'll just put your video age restricted.
Okay, I try to keep it clean.
Oh
so
yeah,
if I'm doing too much, you can let me know if I'm doing too much.
Yeah, that's fine.
Or cut me off. That's okay.
Oh yeah, that's all right, man. No problem, man. You good, man. Like just let you know that way you kind of in your mind like, hey, just if you want to say F, say fudge or like like you
Okay,
know how, yeah, yeah,
okay, okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. But keep going. Like you were saying something like very factual there that it's all
Yeah,
about
yeah.
population control. Yeah.
Population control. Yeah, like they want to feed us bad food. You know, they want us to come outside only when they want us. You know, only when they're ready. You know what I mean? So I don't agree with a lot of things that's going on, and you know, it's crazy what's really going on because it's like not only is they trying to like tell us and control us, it's starting to go down to our kids. You see what I'm saying? And you know,
Yeah.
as far as gender, like they trying to tell boys that if they feel like they think that they're girls and all that stuff that they are girls. You like what? Like this child might be going through a phase. You know what I mean? We don't know what's going on. They just automatically telling boys that they're girls, girls. Oh, you could be boys and all this stuff. Like it's weird. You know what's going on. So
Yeah.
yeah,
You know why they're doing that? Because we as a society, as people, we've allowed them to educate us.
right,
So
right.
whatever they say is law. We can't blame them for what they do. Like the devil is gonna be the devil. It's us, the
Okay.
people, who basically allow them. Because even me being Bible based, the Bible says you know, nobody can do you anything until you open the door, right? What do we say? The person who's gonna stab you is the one that you let in your house, right? That's the one who's eating at your table. Well, how can he get in your table if you didn't let him in? So we
Exactly.
let them in our lives with TV, smartphones, education system, and when things go crap, we like, well, they did this one. No, we allow them. We allow them in. Remember back in the day, our parents were very strict. They didn't want us to do certain things. Now that I look back, I'm like, man, imagine if our parents were free. Oh, just go out and do whatever you want. You're free. This is America. Imagine where we will be right now. We won't be disciplined. We won't be
Right.
doing what we're doing. We be doing what they're telling us right now. We be tossed to and fro. Be out there doing anything, bro, anything.
And that's the thing. We don't really have anything of our own. You know what I mean? I feel like I want to blame Martin Luther King, but because for that whole segregation, we were supposed to have our own. I really didn't care for that white man's education and all that shit. I mean, it's cool to learn from them, learn certain things, but we were supposed to build and keep black dollars within our own community because we don't really have a community yet. I don't think we really
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
So it's like,
You said something right there. Keyword. Notice I said the truth is hatred. You say one keyword that when people say the black community in America. If you
uh,
look at the word communities where people where you believe. Like if you live in an apartment, right? What do they call a community? Why? Because it's people you are proximity. So when people say a black community per se, guess who gave you that word? The media. But if you look
right,
at it really, there is no quote unquote a black community. Why? Because the American
exactly,
culture is
exactly.
individualism. The only time people think in collective is what the media tells you. But I'll put an example, right? I live in my apartment, right? I have black neighbors, I have black Mexican neighbors, right?
Uh,
There are some black neighbors that I talk to, right, that we're cool with, and some of them I don't know. So you ask yourself, okay, those black people that I don't know in my apartment complex, are they part of my community? You see where I'm going with this?
yeah,
Even
yeah,
us, we
yeah,
have
yeah.
families, right? Family
Right.
members. You don't know all of your families, but you call them
They
family.
just
But
around. They just around.
yes, yes. But it's the
I
media, like
get.
as you were saying earlier, the media, they tell us who is our community, right? And even if you look at history, Martin Luther King wasn't praised like it is right now. He was demonized. He was never liked like the way they tried to make it seem. He was hated. Same thing with Nelson Mandela. They buried him with honors, but back in his, why was he in jail? Because society, the South African society, hated him. He was called a
mm,
terrorist, but he died a hero. That's what they do. They change history. They give you sweet juice. Be like, oh, this is what it is. But no, as I recall, even when I was young, when I was learning about like the American Civil Rights Movement, Malcolm
uh-huh.
X, Marcus Garvey, all those guys, they were hated. Martin Luther King was in love, like they make it seem like they didn't give him a house. They hated this guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just felt like we was supposed to, have something of our own. Or shit, we were supposed to have our own little like, state, country, or something to just build off of. Could have gained a lot of wealth. You see what I'm saying? And we could have, passed that down from, to our, the youth, and they could have built. And, we could have kept growing from this shit, but it just seemed like, we don't have nothing to claim. You see what I'm saying? And a lot of the, the people that were slaves now, a lot, back in the days, they created a lot of stuff that was taken from them, and white folks, claimed it. So it's like, damn, what do we have? We don't have nothing to stand on, and now that they just running stuff, they popular control, like, damn, they trying to get rid of us. It's like, like they just want a little speck of us. They love us, but they hate us at the same damn time. You know what I mean? And it's like what do we get from all this, this nonsense? Like a vaccine and being told what to do. Like
Hey,
listen,
hey, hey, bro,
uh,
I'll tell you this, and I know, what I'm about to tell you may sound very harsh, but me, even as an immigrant, even me back home in the Congo, right? This is one thing.
mhm,
Our people back home and our people here have a similarity. Our people hate the truth. They hate to hear the truth. They want to be sweet talked to, and they just want to be entertained. Because when you tell the truth, now the truth brings what? Solution. The
right,
truth is, our people suffer because we choose the evil of our enemies. I'm putting enemies in quote unquote, if you want to say enemies.
uh,
I'll give an example, right?
mhm,
I've seen poverty. I've suffered, right?
right,
But as an individual, I had to make a choice not to fall to the trap of doing something evil that will hurt me even in my suffering. I'll give an
mhm,
example: stealing, right? You know that taking
right,
something that doesn't belong to you is wrong, right?
right, right,
Now, watch this. You go out there, you're hungry, you're really, really hungry, you have nothing to eat, right? You don't have the money
uh,
to buy food. You go and steal, you get caught, you get beat up, or you die. Now, some people say, well, you didn't deserve to die because you stole some food, right? But here's the
mhm,
thing: if you will have gone to steal, if you would have stayed home, will you have died? No. Will you have been
exactly.
beaten up? No. The problem is when you tell our people something like that, they say, oh, you siding with the enemy. Look at you. You're condemning the victim. I say, no. Every parent want their child to make a decision that will keep them safe. It's not to say that you're not going to catch evil where you're at, but I say, don't go out there and expose yourself.
Mhm,
See, especially when we talk about what was going on in the agenda of the government, right? Because when people talk about the drug era and all that stuff, if you do your study, they weren't just doing with the drugs, they were also doing it with religion. I don't know if you ever heard about the prosperity movement. Do a
no,
little
no,
background check. You'll notice the same era, the same time when they were quote unquote bringing drugs into black neighborhoods and all that stuff. Guess what they were bringing? Oh, bring me money, money. Prosperity movement. God wants you to be prosper.
Mm.
So, you know, but people won't look. They'll just focus on the quote unquote the drug, the drug. Now, watch this, right? You're living in a bad neighborhood. You're struggling. You're poor, right? You're trying to make it meet. Somebody comes, right? Your parents say, "Hey, my son, I know life is hard, but I want you out there to make money out of your own sweat. Do it the right way, right? Go out there, get a job. Go out there,
Right.
do something, right? Even if it's a dirty job, be a janitor. But my son, I want you to do things the right way because this world is evil. Don't be out there with those guys doing drug and other stuff, right? Now
Right.
you have two boys. One boy, he listens to his father. He go out there, get a crappy job, getting paid $5 an hour, working part time, right? And
Right.
just out there living. And then you have this kid. He's like, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna go there. You know, this guy. He said, "Hey man, we got the powder. We got the flour, man. You can make $200 a day. Hustle, 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 right?" That
Mm-hmm.
boy goes and do that. If that boy dies, whose fault is it?
Yeah, no, no,
Now,
that's
now watch
actually
this though. Now watch this. But if you say, okay, the evil people brought that thing in, right? The father was present to want the child. Now, even better, they talked about at the same time, men started being removed. The masculine energy started to
out
being removed in the family.
out the household. Yeah, out the
Yes.
household.
So if the
Yeah, I know about
mother,
this.
yeah, you can blame the mother, but at the end of the day, the responsibility will be on the child's action. Why? Because there was nobody to give him the instruction.
Right.
But at the end of the day, as a people, we'll be like, you know what? That we should learn from those of us who fell in that part. Why? Be like, hey, so and so's child, look what happened to him. You know what? Maybe that should be a lesson to us as a collective, not to follow that path.
Right. Right.
But what did the media do? Victimization. Now, if some of our people talk like this, they'll call you cool, sellouts, and all that stuff. But you say, okay, now are you saying I'm a sellout? Is that changing the fate of the people? No, it's getting worse.
Right.
So, are you gonna point out the coons, the sellouts, or are you gonna you're gonna point out the solutions that we as a collective? Now, watch this. You may think as a collective, but it's the collective thinking as the collective, and that's what I tell people.
Mhm.
The media is telling you that you think like a collective, but that's not the reality of life. Everybody's for themselves.
Right. Right. Right.
That's
Right.
all it is. But see, if you point this truth out, people they don't want to hear it because it's too good to be true. I'll put it this way, bro. In your own life, guess what? If you broke, nobody's gonna come to help you out. Nobody.
Exactly. Exactly.
So where is this collective mindset that people preach? It doesn't exist. It
Right.
doesn't exist. But see, if you point that out, you call a traitor. You call a sellout, coon. Oh, you
No,
know,
right. I see exactly what you're saying because I was kind of on both ends of the stick or whatever you want to say because at the end of the day, like I have no problem with going out and finding a job, whether it's $5, $9 an hour, whatever it is. You see what I'm saying? And I also, was doing other things, as far as the streets, wise in America, because you say you from Africa or whatever. But I have, indulged in, bad behaviors, doing certain things to try to get quick, fast money. But at the end of the day, I had to look at myself and realize, I don't want to have people look at me in the wrong way and be locked up and people judge me and make it seem like, oh, you're the problem in the community. You see what I'm saying? So it's like I don't want to contribute to the bullshit, but I also know how to, you know, present myself and go get a job. I don't have no problem with, providing for myself. Right now in
Yeah,
my at this time in my life, like I do have my own house. I don't have no kids. I'm not out here just slinging. Even though I like vagina, I love fucking bitches, but I know how to chill and relax from them because I want me I want me a female that I can have, kids with, and she won't run out on my ass. You know what I mean? And it's like I don't want to be a statistic. I don't want them to look at me like, see, you exactly what we was talking about. You see what I'm saying? So it's like,
yeah,
it's just I see where you coming from, as far as the family, situation and all that, and and how life, people look at us. You see what I'm saying? Because it seems like the all eyes is on the black man, the black family, the black woman. It's just like it's just wild. I just see something going on, and it's like, I don't know what are they trying to do, but I see it. Everybody sees what's going on. You know what I mean? Everybody's eyes is open, but I can only try to do what the best on my behalf. You know what I mean? So it's like,
and everything you're speaking. That's why I try to tell people. Society is set up, they set up that way for a reason. They set traps. Notice, even I recall, even when I was growing up. Notice when you do bad, if you are a good kid, you're the one who get caught. And those who are indulging
right,
it,
right,
who've been doing it,
right,
nothing happens to them.
right,
Why do
right.
you think
Yeah,
is that?
you're right. I don't.
Like,
I have no idea.
yeah,
You're right though.
that, yeah, because when you are good, everybody who's evil, they want you to be like them. I was
Mhm.
on a stream. Was a black man keeping it honest. I was on his channel and I mentioned I was talking to one of my
Who's that?
cousins back home, uh, where their family, the kids, they don't go outside, they don't homemonger. They have a lot of daughters in the house, right? They don't go outside, they don't mingle with the neighborhood kids, right?
Uh,
Basically they go to school, they come, or they go to church, they come. They never go outside. If they go
they
outside, it's
stay
like to
out the
go.
way.
They stay out of the way. Now watch this. Some a random neighbor, like a mother, right? She went and talked to my aunt. This is what she literally told her. She said that we don't like, say, you kids, they're very secure and everything. She's like, we don't like it that you kids are not like ours. We want you kids to be like ours, to be out here in the street
Wow,
doing the things that we
wow,
do.
wow,
And
wow.
I was saying, when I heard it, I'm like, I don't know, maybe the Most High touched her heart to tell my aunt that. But it just goes to show you that when you are living good and making the right decision, the people around you who make the bad decision out of their own choice, like you're not there telling them to do it, they choose to be evil. They hate you.
Yeah,
That
that's fun. Go ahead.
and that's what I tell people when people talk about communities. I'm like, do you want to know why the community gets worse and worse? Because the community loves evil.
Yeah,
That's
and
why.
that's fucked up that you said that because I have noticed that as well, and I have nephews of myself. You see what I'm saying? And I always try to set a good example. Like I go to work in front of them. I tell them, yo, go to school, do this, because I don't have no kids. So,
Yeah,
I
same
would
here.
tell,
I don't have any
yeah,
kids either. Yeah.
yeah. So I would tell my nephews, go to school, you know, you see what your little friends doing and all that stuff that's bad, don't do that shit because if they get in trouble and you gotta ride with them if you around them. So you gotta do what they do. You see what I'm saying? I know exactly what you're talking about, and I try to curve that with them, and whether I'm screaming, I'm yelling, and all this shit, we fighting or whatever, but I don't want to see them locked up and all that shit. Like I get exactly what you said because it's fucked up that somebody would tell somebody else's kid, oh, you'll be like my kids or whatever. That's no, you don't come in my household and tell me what to do with my family and all that shit. Like I don't like shit like that. I tell my nephews to stay out of the fucking way. Stay focused on school because after school, you're going to have to deal with life. And life is hard. School, right now, you're having fun. All your childhood and all that shit, enjoy that shit because you're not going to be a child forever. You know what I mean? So focus on your school. And once you get out of school, it's work. And then you might not even like doing that. You see what I'm saying? So you got to shape your lifestyle out right now because society will look at you right. They for real, they're looking at you now. They want to put you in jail. They waiting for you to slip the fuck up. And I don't want them to do all the bullshit that their fathers I did or whatever. You see what I'm saying? But I try to set a good example for them. You know what I mean? Because it's wild that that people think like that, like they family have to do exactly what you're doing or your kids got to do what their kids doing. Like, no, stay the fuck out of my business. You know what I mean? I don't like shit like that. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, I
the
mean,
world is crazy.
yeah, that's the sad thing. Is you see, that's what I tell people. Don't if the media wants you to be looking at the skiing thing, for so long that you lose your sense of logic. Because logic should tell you if everybody does it, it's not about race. Evil is not race specific, right?
Exactly.
And we all know whether you're black or white, Asian, whatever, we know you're gonna get the most hatred from your own. From your own. It's just that we live in a society, right? We live in a society
right
where,
about that shit. You're
yeah.
right about that shit.
But me coming from the Congo where quote unquote everybody's black, you think, oh, we all black, everybody in harmony. No, the same thing you with here, it's over there too. So the thing is, okay, if it's not about race, if it's not about race, what is it? It's the evil in man.
Mm-hmm.
Because people love evil, they will do whatever they want to do. Like you cannot how should I put this? You cannot make someone who wants to do evil not do evil.
Right.
If that's what he wants to do,
it's not installed in them.
Yeah. If they want to do it, they'll do it, regardless of their race. So when people are under this spell, oh, we black, we are one. I'm like, you say you are one, but your actions don't speak it. The Bible says what? You shall know them by their fruit. If you love your brother, why do you kill him? If you love your brother, why do you gossip about him? If you love your brother, why do you sleep with your brother's wife? If you love him, why do you bring false witness? You see? Now you have people having a society that goes against laws that put harmony, right? The demon. I know a lot of people talk about the Bible, but I always say, in anything, eat the meat, throw out the bones. What is good, take. What you think is evil, throw it away, right? But here's the thing: has anybody out there literally took their time to actually practice the 10 Commandments? Because if you look at it as a people, right, whether overseas or here, if you look at the 10 Commandments real well, you will notice a lot of the problems that we have as a people is because we don't even keep the 10 Commandments. We're not even going to the other ones. The first one says what? Love God with all your heart, soul, and mind, right? The Creator. And he says what? Love your neighbor as you love yourself. He says, love thy brother as you love yourself. And then he goes on and on. Now, here's the question. If you don't like to, if you don't like to do something that's detrimental to yourself, why would you want to do it to someone else?
Right.
You don't like someone punching you in the eye, why would you punch another in the eye? But that simple law, if we, as people like to say, as a collective lived it, we'll be a better community. But watch this. But because people love evil and they choose to listen, same people they claim are against them, we get what we get. Because if the people
Right.
actually try to leave, that's what I tell people. The churches, they don't care. The church is not the Bible. Because if the churches were promoting and actually telling people to leave those 10 commandments, we won't have the problems that we have. Because I don't have that problem because I live it.
Right.
I don't try to create trouble. I live my life the way I want to, and I'm at peace. Sometimes, I would say sometimes you don't need to be out there doing crazy stuff. Sometimes having a simple life
It's
is
okay.
enough.
It's
Is
okay, man.
enough.
I totally agree with you. I can't even argue with you about this. Uh, it's wild. It's just evil out here with through every race. I think through white, black, Chinese, Hispanic. It just exists. You know what I mean? The devil. I don't know if this name is the devil or Mulak or whatever it is. It exists. You know what I mean? So it's like a temptation. People gotta fight this shit.
Yeah.
And I try to fight it every day, and I speak about it within my family, and my family know who I am. My grandmother always told me that I was going to, because somebody told her about me, before they passed away. She said, your grandson, he's going to be a little different than the other kids or whatever. And I remember this shit to this day. My grandma telling me, she's speaking about me. She like, yeah, Dante, well, my name is Dante. Don, I go by as Don or whatever. But she was like, yeah, he will start going through things. He will start seeing shit. I'm like, I don't know what she talking about. I just want to be a regular kid. But once I start going through stuff and start seeing stuff and having crazy dreams, like I'm like, yo, all this evil and good, yo, this shit exists. I thought I just was gonna be a regular person, a regular kid. I didn't care about none of that. You know what I mean? I believe, that it is a higher power and all that stuff. So I want to go where the good is. You see what I'm saying? I don't want nothing to do with nothing evil. You know what I mean? I know that the devil was created with he's an angel. We gotta admit that shit. We have to admit where he came from. He got jealous of God and he wanted his own. God said, go ahead, get away from me. You know what I mean? He sent them down here and this is what we get. You see what I'm saying? So it's like we gotta fight that off. He's the God of this realm, of this earth, or whatever. He been here since the beginning, before mankind even exists. So we gotta fight whatever he's throwing around. He's testing us. He's testing us. You see what I'm saying? He knows who we gotta. Once we going, we gotta go with God or whatever that is. I don't know if God is a woman, a man. It could be it. I don't know. It could be both genders. I don't know. I don't have the answer. Nobody has the answer. You see what I'm saying? But it's just crazy how this world is shaping out, and a lot of the shit that was told in the Bible, it's a lot. Some of it seems like it's coming true, but I don't know if the Bible was exactly washed down. You know what I mean? So it's like, what do we have to expect? What, as far as black folks, where do we go? We don't have shit. You know what I mean? We could just
Yeah. Hey, you know what, bro? I hear your frustration, and to what your grandma was saying, because the thing is, we are blessed to be alive. Because when you're dead, you have nothing. You're no longer part of this life. But there's more to than what that person say about you. The thing is, the fact that you and I are speaking together, you think it's just an accident?
no.
I'm from a whole total background, and you're from a whole total background, but we're here together right now online, speaking to each other from different, like thousands of miles away, and some way, somehow, the internet has allowed us to come together and actually share thoughts. You think it's just a coincidence? Tell people nothing in this world is a coincidence. The thing is, okay, why things are happening the way it's happening? Everything has a reason. Now, the Bible, if you take time and you read it, it tells you why these things are happening. But the thing is, because we had we had system in place that didn't teach us how to read it. They told us how to read it from their eyes, from their ears. Most people, they never got to actually understand the whole spectrum. What you're witnessing happening in the world is a changing of guard. Somebody who's been holding on to the power, right? And he realized it's time for him to let go. And he's refusing to let go. And that's why friction is happening. The reason why they shut down the whole world, because they prepare the whole world to fight against what's coming. Because people ask themselves, they say, okay, he says the whole earth will mourn. They'll be screaming. They say, look at the guy who's coming, from the sky, right? He's coming, he's against us. Now you see that Christianity is everywhere, right? There are billions of Christians. Then how is it possible for man, according to the Bible, that when he comes, they're gonna be afraid of this man? That the whole world right now have on their lips Jesus, right? Like, what I'm saying, if he has such an impact all over the earth right now, why does the Bible says that all nations will be mourning? They're gonna be scared, but it says to those who believe in him, they're gonna be excited because he's here for them. And he said out of his own mouth, he said that few will be able to find the way of truth, but the majority are gonna go with the lie. So if the whole earth is gonna be screaming away from him when he comes, because they're gonna see who he really is, the real one, that tells you that most of the people have no idea about this Bible. They don't know, or they don't care, because like I told you, it may seem like people want good in their life. No, people love evil. Because when people hear evil, they just think of the extreme. Right? They think of the extreme, like killing, murder, robbery, right? They think of the extremity. But you talking bad about somebody, making false accusation, that's evil too. Exactly. That's evil. Lying, that's evil. Stealing, that's evil. But because we live in a society that says, well, there's no right or wrong, there's no evil or good, do whatever you want, and you wonder why the people suffer. Like I say, the good people will suffer. Why? Because you were not meant to do that. And I've even heard people say, well, when people like us, who have our complexion, when we do evil, why do we get the maximum of the crimes? That's not fair. I'm like, how can you expect fair from an unfair system that's against you? And if people say, when their people do it, they get the slap on the wrist. I'm saying, of course, your father will beat you more than your neighbors. Why? Because your friend, he's not your father's son. Right. He's his neighbor's son. He don't care. But you, if you go out there and you smoke that thing, I'm gonna beat it out of you because you are my son. I don't want you to be like the other kid. I don't care about them. So the same way in society, if you do bad, you will get the end of the stick. Why? Because you are supposed to be righteous. In an unrighteous system, when you do wrong and you're righteous, you're gonna get the maximum of the punishment. Why? Because the system is evil. You see what I'm saying? So if an evil system will be good to the evil, not the good.
They don't work for you.
Yeah. And that is something the people, especially our people, have to understand. If you stand for righteousness and you do wrong, guess what? You get the worst. Why? You're a good person. The moment you tricked into doing the evil, guess what? The people who taught you, who are leading you to it, guess what? They get to run away. And I'll use an example. This young guy like I used to go to high school with. After I think it was after I graduated high school. Well, actually, I went to a different high school. Some of his friends, they went to rob somebody, and one of the guy in the group murdered the owner of the house, right? So when the cops came over, they arrested them. You know the stupid rule of not snitching, right?
He told.
No, he I'm not gonna snitch, right? But he didn't commit the murder. But guess what? He's the one in jail. Like you already say, like you already know, this system is unfair. He didn't commit the crime, but because he chose not to snitch, the legal system they coerce him and they slap him with the guilt of what is it? You are quote unquote guilty. Yeah, because he refused to quote unquote not snitching. So you have this young boy who got with the wrong group and took upon that stupid rule of not snitching. I'm like, what the? It's like the same people, like, you know, and this guy, the guy who committed murder, he's out here free, living his life. He don't care about you. He don't care. You do. Yeah. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
That's exactly what I tell my nephew. You know, you run around here, you know, you want to be with your friends and your homies. Yo, I tell them, just like my dad, my father told me. He said, "Fuck your friends, because they'll do some bullshit, and your stupid ass will be in fucking jail and living their lives and all that shit, and you not helping you, they will forget about you while you lock the fuck up. So you go out here, you apply yourself, and you do you. You worry about yourself." And that's exactly what I'll be telling my nephews now. And they understand, you know what I mean? They still young. And I tell them, yo, fuck y'all friends. Y'all can have, they cool and all, but fuck them. Y'all go grow the fuck up one day and have to eventually live life. Y'all gonna have to get jobs. Y'all gonna have probably wives and all this shit and live different lives. So right now, you focus on your fucking self. So all that little fun shit and doing that little wild, excuse my language, wild stuff and all that stuff, nah, don't do all that with them. Because you'll be locked up and they'll be home and they'll forget all about you. So I totally agree.
Yeah. And check this out. They'll tell you not to snitch, but they guess what? They'll be the first one to snitch you. Mm-hmm. They'll sell you out quicker than than to fart into the wind. They'll snitch you quick. But guess what? See, that's what I say. It's the mindset, evil mindset. You be the one, because evil people don't follow the law, but they convince you. Yeah, no snitching. Yeah, you're about to do evil, right? But you better not snitch. This is a law, right? And because you're a good person, you'll be like, hey, you know what? Hey, we're the crew. You my homie. I'm not snitching. One little mistake, guess what? They throw you under the bus quick, real quick. Why? Because guess what? Hey, they don't want to go to jail. You think it's an honor to go to jail? No, they don't want to go to jail. They prefer to live their evil. They prefer to do evil and not suffer the consequences. So if they feel like they're about to suffer the consequences, they'll sell you out quicker. And because you are good, the system will be quick to coerce you to be in jail. And you have this guy, right? You know, sometimes when I think about him, I'm like, man, I remember him, years ago, he always wanted to be part of the wannabes. I call them the wannabes. But look at him now. Now he's the future. You're in jail for murder that you never committed, and you're still in jail. Why? Because I refuse to snitch. But this guy that you refuse to snitch, he's out here living his life, probably doing more murders. Because guess what?
Exactly.
Somebody who
Exactly.
killed once, he's gonna do it again. He's gonna do it again. So hopefully, this kind of message, this kind of conversation that we have, the young people we hear, and not make the mistake of the ones who did. You know, and I'm actually, I appreciate this newer generation. They actually are smart. They pay attention. Why? Because as this society is falling down, because guess what? Things will never go the way it was. Don't let anyone fool you. It's over. Anybody who has eyes to see, anybody who reads the Bible, you know there's no going back.
Right.
You know, and the irony is, I always tell people, if you're a real Christian, you know, I'm gonna use the word Christian. If you're a real Christian, you can't be patriotic. You can't. According to the Bible, all nations must be destroyed. There will be only one nation, the kingdom of heaven. So if you are, if you are patriotic, you can be a Christian. You can be, because a Christian has to reject his nationality. He has to reject this world. But you already know, can you be a Christian and patriotic? You can't. I'm not saying you're gonna renounce. No, I'm saying that the way you're gonna live your life, your Christian life should be of your citizenship of your quote unquote nation. You have to know that your nation won't last forever. It has to be destroyed. But if you notice, a lot of people who claim to be Christians, they're false Christians, because it seems like they're just Christian in their lips, but not in reality. And like people will know, well, you know, you're a foreigner. Like I tell people, I'm like, you live this earth, but you have to know you're not part of it. Why? Because you can't have two powers ruling in the same place. If this power says that in order for me to rule, all nations have to be destroyed, they have to be non-existent. How can you cohabit with them? You can't. You can't be part of this one and that one. It's not gonna happen. You know, and this world is going, all society. That's why they're trying to create this one world order. Everybody to be one, because they understand what time it is. But what they're trying to do is trying to beat the punch. Yeah, like we're gonna create one world order. So if you bring yours, it's not gonna work, because everybody's gonna be under us. Right. But their plans are not gonna work. It's not gonna work. So, but you know, like I say, go ahead.
No, I realized that you're really informational guy. You got a lot of knowledge. I give you that fast, and I'm not gonna hold you. I did notice you know, from Cooler Page. I ain't gonna hold you. You a funny boy too. You funny as hell too. So,
thanks, bro.
And I know you was going there. I know you was going there for that crab daddy shit. But that was hilarious. But no, I didn't realize.
I understand. No, I'm saying I understand. Like, you know, sometimes it's like, that's why I usually tend to like go to certain streams like that. I know that they're actually gonna allow me to express, because sometimes you really want to say something, but people don't. You know, they're not ready for it. They don't want to hear. So I just sit back. You know, like chill. You know?
Right. No, it's cool or whatever. But you know, I'm glad I had a conversation with you. I ain't gonna be up here too long and shit. I gotta take my ass to a interview a little earlier. Where exactly you at? Where you at right now?
I live in Houston, but right now I'm driving to Dallas. I'm a truck driver. Okay. I'm a truck driver.
Salute.
Yeah.
You did say that before.
Yeah.
Salute to Houston, salute to Dallas, and all that shit. I'm from out Philly, so.
Oh yeah, know. That's why you put Philly.
Yeah. But yeah. I ain't gonna keep you up all day and shit. I gotta take my ass to an interview or whatever. But I just wanted to have a conversation with you, because I fucks with you and all that shit. So,
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm about to jump down. So yeah, I want you to enjoy your day. You'll be safe on that road, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, if I could slide through another time, we could talk, have a conversation, and build and all that stuff. I'ma holler at you, man.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
All
And
right.
be safe.
Same to you.
And hey, whatever you're doing, may the Most High bless you and get what you're looking for. I know you're
All
gonna
right.
get it.
All right. Now, take it easy. Take it easy,
All
Pastor.
right, you're welcome.
All right.
Peace. Bye. All right, thank you. A fellow brother who came in on the panel and he had some words to speak on, and I appreciate it. Hey, like I always say, all of us here we have information that others may benefit, and maybe my word saying things may not get to you, but somebody out there may speak the language that you can understand. That's why I always allow people on the panel to have who may have a different view, or they may see things from a different perspective, and they may say something that the viewers or listeners who are gonna hear it, they'll be like, "Oh, okay, I understand what Fashion was saying, but this brother he's saying in a way where I actually get it." So that's all we need, different messages out there. And shout out to all the brothers out there who have platforms, and to the ladies out there. Yeah, I'm not gonna forget y'all. You guys out there riding, and sometimes you're overshadowed by the loud voices. But we see y'all. We out there in the clouds, paying attention. Y'all doing your work. So shout out to you. There's just not enough of us who are speeding this kind of information, but we out here. We pay attention. We're in the clouds. We see you. So yeah, I appreciate all the people who are in the building. Shout out to Omega Dreads. I see, I see you. You're already awake. Uh, thanks for stopping by. Let me see. Some people came in and building. I saw earlier, but I didn't get a chance to. Shout out to Sheep Stay Sleep TV. I think I saw you earlier stopping by. I appreciate it, bro. I see you awake. Here in Texas, it's 5:13 a.m. early morning. So some people out there, you're from the East Coast, you're like a 1 hour ahead of time. So you're already 6 a.m. already over there. And those in California, you're like 2 hours behind. So you're probably what 3 a.m. over there. So yeah, and I really appreciate it for those of you being on my stream. Hearing fasting yell and scream at the top of his lungs, where you could be somewhere else listening to someone else. But I really appreciate it. It was just something that was in my heart. I was like, let me run a stream and basically speak what was going to my mind. And I really appreciate brother Kwame Brown picking up this team and having him as the mouthpiece for those of us who've been saying things that maybe we didn't have a large audience to reach out to. Maybe we were being censored. But hey, maybe someone who's known, who has a name out there, and who's building a larger platform, maybe he can represent our target market. Even he say himself, he says, "I can't be the only one. We need more people." But YouTube algorithm, like I say, it's a controlled platform. So hey, if he can be the voice where he can reach thousands of people at a faster rate, hey, so be it. Let him, and us with smaller voices, we can actually decipher, or basically just point out, be like, hey, you see the stuff we told you? He says it. You see the stuff we told you? We said it. And he also touched on student loan, right? Saying that, they have people going out there telling people, oh, you need to go to college. You need to go to college. But he's like, well, what is wrong with teaching people handy skill, skills with their hands? It doesn't have to be quote unquote a college all the time. You go out there, you get in debt, it's a system. It's all about money. It's about putting you in debt, because when you're in debt, you become slave. The Bible says the borrower is the slave to the lender. And how many of our young men and women are in debt? Some people, based on especially how the economy is right now, will probably will never pay it off. Literally, if they have to pay it off, they have to literally sacrifice their whole life, all that time that they spent being in school. Now they're gonna spend their whole literally, probably double the time they spend in school to literally just pay it off completely, and not even touch their money, not even 1 cent. So let's say you borrow $80,000 and you finish school and you get a job. If you really be like, I'm gonna hold my wallet, I'm gonna eat noodles and drink tea and eat some cheap bread for the next 4 years just to pay off my student loan debt because my job only pays me $40 a year. Let me try to save at least $20,000 each year, sacrifice 20,000, and pay it off in 4 years. I mean, think about how it's gonna be miserable. It's not gonna be fun. You know what I mean? But we have a system where the program is, go to school, get a degree. Dun, 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 throwing the hat. Yay! I got a degree. Go out there and be somebody. And you have millions of people graduating with a degree, but there is no jobs. But you have somebody who only got a high school degree, goes out there, start doing your work, making enough money to provide for his life. And people will look down on him, you don't have a degree, or look at you cutting grass. Oh yeah? Well, I'm in the positive, cutting grass. You are in the negative. And each time you try to put down the negative to go to the positive, you can't. You stay in the negative. You look at your bank account, it looks positive, but overall budget is negative. Why? Because you have student loans. That's the deception that they lie to us. Everything is a lie. It's all built on lies. To the point where if you are telling young people, this is how I am right now, going to college and, what to say. Once you know, right? I'll say this. Hey, if you're a young man listening, because the main reason we're going to college is to have money, right? To make money. If you can make money without going to college, you don't need it. If you're going to go to a school and you're going to get full scholarship where they're going to pay for everything, go for it. Some people, in order for them to get their education paid off, they join the military. Hey, if the military is going to pay it off, do it. Now, watch this. Now, if you want to join the military, my advice is go to like a military academy where you go there, you do the 4 year, you get your bachelor, and then once you join, you get in full time, you're an officer. I'll say do that. Or if you're gonna go to school first, go to college, and then once you get your bachelor degree, join the military as an officer. Don't do enlisted. Being enlisted is also a trap. Yeah. If you notice, most recruiter, if you start talking, like if you're in high school and you have recruiters, they be like, oh yeah, being an officer is good, but no. Enlisted is better. You're gonna have the experience. Why? Because they need soldiers. They don't want officers. And not only that guy, that recruiter gets paid to get you to be enlisted. He gets paid. He don't care about you. I was in junior ROTC in high school, and the commander, right? He was a lieutenant colonel. He gave me an advice. He pulled me and a few other students, and like he was an old guy. He was in his 70s, giving advice to young men. He says, "Look, I think there was 3 of us." He's like, "Hey, young man, I'm gonna tell you, don't be like these dumb American kids." He's an American, old school. I think he was was a Korean veteran. I don't think he was Vietnam. Hold up. I think he's Korean. I don't think he was Vietnam, but yeah, he's seen war, right? So he was like these dumb American kids. He's like, yo, if you want to join the Air Force, I want you to join in as officer. So he's like, you go to the Air Force Academy, or you go to college, get your bachelor, then join in as an officer. He's like, I don't want none of you. Like, you young. He's like, you guys are versatile. He's like, I don't want you to join the military. as an enlisted. He said, don't do it. These kids, he said, they don't see, they don't understand. He said, y'all join as officers. Amongst that group that we talked to, I didn't join the military, but two of them, they joined the Air Force and they're officers right now. So he gave us a very good advice, and I'm very thankful for him. Why? Because he understood the system. They don't want you to make it, especially, our people. So if you're a young man and you want to join the military, don't join in as an enlisted. You're gonna be there for years. Where if you join as an officer, you're gonna make more money. Like if you want to look at money as an officer, as a second lieutenant, you're gonna make more money than a master sergeant who's been there for 20 years. Why? Because you're an officer. But they trick you to be like, oh man, oh these officers, they don't know, they didn't go through the hard, they didn't go through the mud and all that stuff that like usually they do that with Marines. Like, hoorah! Like be like, oh, you're a book person, Mr. Nerd. I'm like, oh yeah, you out there in the front line getting bullets. I'm over here chilling. I'll probably be in the computer for those of you out there who are into computer. I'm out there maneuvering a drone from the sky right here in the comfort of my, American base right here, right now. Moving a drone that's over there overseas, shooting down the enemy from the sky, thousands of feet away. You know what I mean? It's a trick. It's all a trick. Don't fall for it. So Kwame was basically, I had to sway to the side a little bit. With the same reference about the military that I just told you, when it comes to college sports, they try to influence young men who are talented to not look forward to the NBA, where you can make money. They want you to focus on the college sports, where you play for money. They'll trick you with, oh, we're gonna pay for your scholarship, full ride, but you out there making millions for them playing, getting hurt, and all that stuff without getting paid. Where you could literally do the same thing you're doing in college, but you're doing it in the NBA and getting paid millions. But they don't want that. You see? They don't want you to smell that money. That's right. So they need to hire agents, like Kwame referenced to say Stephen A. Smith was one of the agents, to go out there and sell a propaganda to make young boys and girls get scared of thinking big. Thinking big. And people will tell you, oh, it's a conspiracy. It's a tinfoil. Agents are everywhere, even on YouTube. So Kwame was literally saying a lot of stuff that many of us out here we say, but because we don't have the loudest voice, nobody's gonna pay attention or heed to our warnings. He say, what a lot of people have already said, and hopefully the people who are listening, they're taking to heart his advice and warning, especially to parents, about trusting strangers over your children. That's why me as a bachelor, I don't have any children. Why? My logic is, when I will have children, it has to be in a moment in my life where I will have time to bond with my child. Why? So that when my child is older, we will still have that connection. A lot of parents are here, they don't have any connection with their children. And that's a fact. That's a fact. Think about it. Mothers, they don't even have connection with their child. As a baby is supposed to be with their mother 100% of the time. But what happens? The baby builds bonds with the babysitter. Think about it. Look back. Why do you think some children, they have more bond with their babysitter than their own mother? Do you think that's normal? All right, I'm back. I got kicked off again. StreamYard. I'm assuming either it was the Wi-Fi, but I got kicked out and I'm back. Yeah, my internet just crashed and then opened up. Yeah, and like I was saying, yeah, a lot of mothers, they don't have any connection with their children because babysitters. Even the quote unquote the science is even coming out saying that a child between 1 and 2 needs to be bonded with their mother. And even now they're saying that even during pregnancy, when the baby's in the womb, be careful what you're saying. Don't be around people, like don't be, fighting. Like if you're a couple, right, and your wife is pregnant or something, don't be fighting or saying like negative things. It could affect the pregnancy. And not only that, be careful, like if you're watching movies or stuff like that, because words, right? That baby, just because it's in a belly, don't you think it has ears, right? So if the baby in a womb is hearing certain things that are not good for its mind, the mind is like a sponge, you absorb it, right? That's why even in African culture, especially I remember in Congo, it was forbidden for pregnant women, to go to funerals. Yeah, the elders, they didn't give any reason why, but it was forbidden for pregnant women to go to funerals. Yeah. Yeah. So that stuff like that, and he also touched also on what was thing I mentioned earlier, uh, how the media tries to control the rhetoric, and he even talked about money. That I even said on my last stream that we have agents that are paid to spread misinformation, and those people tend to have a lot of voices. A lot of like channels that will have like millions of people. Don't be surprised if half of them are bots, either bots or the platform actually gives them those subscribers. Why? Because they are paid to spread a narrative. We can't prove what we're saying, but hey, it's fiction, right? It's fictional, you know. It's a movie, stuff like that. So yeah, I think I pretty much touched on what was bothering in my mind regarding some of the topic it was touching on, and I appreciate you guys, stopping by, chopping it up with me, and shout out to the third shift. DJ Kuda is taking his rest. Is uh, resting. He's recovering from an accident. So shout out to him and check out his channel, DJ Kuda. And he's basically he covers the late night shift, for us out here in the manosphere. So shout out to him. And if you want to wish him well wishes, you can always go to his community tab and just leave a comment that he gets well and stuff like that. So I appreciate you guys stopping by. And hey, knowledge is power. Do your own research. Don't believe strangers. Don't take everything that we say. Do your own research. Double check. And remember, the internet doesn't have everything. They're removing certain information. If possible, find books. Buy books if you have the money. And just own it, because there's a virtual book burning that's happening. And I appreciate you guys, and stay tuned for the next one. And if you have any suggestion, don't be afraid to leave comments and all that stuff. And whenever I have time, I'll read them and see whatever I can do. Stay tuned for more. Good morning. It's Monday. Be safe. Be a good slave out there when you're working at your employer. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace.